Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to do something really exciting. We are literally going to build a fulfilling career from the ground up using what we call the Comprehensive Career Architect's Blueprint. You know, whether you're a student stepping out into the real world for the very first time, a professional contemplating a major pivot, or maybe just someone looking to find a bit more purpose in your everyday 9 to 5, you need a blueprint. We aren't just going to sit here and talk about vague dreams today. Oh no, we are going to dive into actionable data, visual tools, and proven frameworks to construct a career that actually lasts. Here is our blueprint for today. We'll move quickly through 5 key phases: discovering your ikigai, mapping the job market, gaining practical experience, mastering culture, and finally, setting smart goals. Let's jump right in. Part 1. Discovering your ikigai. Okay, so ikigai. It's a Japanese concept that translates roughly to a reason for being. To break that down, iki means life, and kai means effect or result. Think of it as the absolute deepest emotional core of your career planning. It's that invisible driving force that literally gets you out of bed in the morning. Studies even suggest that people who have a strong sense of ikigai feel a really profound sense of accomplishment when they pursue their passions. And honestly, finding this is absolutely crucial before we even look at a single job posting. Because, well, if the foundation isn't stable, the whole house will eventually crumble. The ultimate goal here is finding that super rare center where your passion and mission actually meet your vocation and profession. It's like a giant puzzle. When you only have 2 or 3 of these elements clicked into place, you might feel, satisfied but kind of useless, or maybe comfortable but totally empty inside. True ikigai is the absolute sweet spot where what you love, what you're really good at, what the world actually needs, and what you can get paid for, all of that overlaps perfectly. That's the ideal we're architecting toward. All right, moving to part 2, mapping the job market. Now, for all the visual thinkers out there, standard text-based career advice can feel totally overwhelming, right? That is exactly where visual roadmaps come into play. Tools like Miro and PictoChart serve as digital drafting boards to objectively map out how your current interests can actually pivot into real-world agility. Miro gives you this infinite canvas where you can brainstorm collaboratively, plotting out your interests and seeing where they naturally connect. PictoChart, on the other hand, lets you build these awesome if-then sequences. For example, if I love playing guitar, then what are the related paths in sound engineering or maybe music therapy? Visualizing the whole shebang prevents analysis paralysis and turns those abstract dreams into concrete, logical steps. But hey, we've got to juxtapose those big dreams with practical reality. Just think about this data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They are projecting massive, and I mean nearly 50% growth for wind turbine service technicians over the next decade. So unless you're terrified of heights, that's a seriously solid bet. We are also seeing huge demand for solar installers and nurse practitioners. As a career architect, you really need to know where the market is actually expanding. If your ikigai intersects with sustainable energy or healthcare, you are going to have an incredibly sturdy roof over your head. Which brings us to part 3, gaining practical experience. Listen, you don't actually have to commit to a grueling 6-month internship just to see if you even like an industry. Platforms like Parker Dewey are a real game changer here. They break it all down into a simple 4-step process for landing short-term, paid micro-internships that actually fit your schedule. You just create a profile, browse real professional assignments, apply, and complete the work, and it's often done totally remotely. It is the ultimate low-risk, high-reward way to build up that resume and genuinely test if your theoretical ikigai matches the reality of the daily grind. Moving right along to part 4, mastering culture and skills. So, before you accept a role, you absolutely must use informational interviews to decode a company's culture. Get this, 32% of employees quit their jobs due to poor culture fit. 32%! That is a massive structural failure in the blueprint. Reach out on LinkedIn to ask current or past employees whether the company's communication style is rigidly formal, which might suit you if you really like clear hierarchies, or transparently informal, which is awesome if you prefer open, casual collaboration. Doing this before you ever sign an offer letter ensures the environment actually aligns with your personal values. But to really know what culture fits you, well, you kind of need to know yourself first. You can use tangible tools like a skills assessment worksheet to physically log your accomplishments and pinpoint the soft skills you actually enjoy using. Write down specific achievements. Actually, instead of just writing carpentry, write built a doghouse, and then check off the exact skills that made it so satisfying. It moves you past what you are simply capable of doing and zeroes in on what you genuinely like doing. That is a massive distinction for long-term career happiness, for sure.
And finally, part 5, setting smart career goals. There's a stark contrast between a vague intention and a SMART goal. Saying, I want to complete a project is honestly completely unmeasurable. But a SMART goal, meaning one that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, looks entirely different. Try this. Launch a mobile app by the end of June with 50,000 installs and a 5% conversion rate. Wow, right? It tells you exactly what is happening, exactly how we measure success, why it matters, and when it's due. This is exactly how you transition from being a passive daydreamer into an active career architect.
During your daily execution phase, you'll want to establish clearly defined boxes for your long-term goal right at the top, supported by immediate short-term goals, specific action steps, and target dates right below that. This is where you actually write down the exact sequence of events needed to build your ultimate career path. Every big, scary ambition needs to be broken down into these bite-sized, measurable actions. When you fill in these blanks, your abstract blueprint officially becomes a living, breathing schedule.
So, you've got the blueprint, you understand your ikigai, you know how to map the data, you know where to find micro-internships to gain that real-world experience, and you know how to set SMART goals to execute your vision. I want to leave you with this final, absolutely crucial thought. What will your first step be today to start building your career? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Pick just one tool we discussed today and lay your very first brick.